Welcome to the Daily Coffee Pro by Mapper Forward, friends. I'm your host, Lee Safar, and today on the podcast, we're talking about a workplace without culture. Before we get started, thanks to our presenting sponsor, the Small Business Mastermind Group by Mapper Forward. If you are looking to join a supportive, small group of like-minded people who are focused on improving everything that they're doing with regards to their small business operations, but also finding support from people who understand what it is to go through small business ownership in the coffee industry, head to mapperforward.org/group coaching and check out our 4 mastermind groups that we offer there. But in particular, the Small Business Mastermind Group is absolutely up your alley. It's very supportive. There is a lot of great content in there, and people just really have great experiences in those mastermind groups. I'm the head coach, and the opportunities to grow and learn from each other are endless. mapperforward.org/group coaching. You can also find that in the show notes. And while you're headed down to the show notes, if you enjoy the content that you get here on Mapper Forward, if you find the things that we talk about interesting and you like this content, please consider rating, reviewing, liking, subscribing, all of that delicious stuff that needs to happen for us to continue to grow the content. This podcast goes out to more than 10,000 people every month, and we can't thank you enough for continuing to support our content. So let's have a chat about culture in the workplace. And why this is particularly important at the moment is because more than anything, as Gen Z enters this workforce and are more and more prevalent in our work environments, they have a much heavier leaning towards understanding what our workplace cultures are for the workplaces that they want to work in. But we traditionally, as an industry, don't necessarily put a lot of effort into constructing the culture of the business that we are opening. And when you think about it, it's kind of strange that we don't do that, given that we are a place where people come and commune. So we kind of just let the culture of the businesses that we're opening establish themselves. Now, why is that dangerous? And why is that something that we need to focus on? Well, the reason is because if you don't go to the effort fundamentally of defining what your workplace culture is, it leaves it open for somebody else or a group of other people to determine that culture for you. If you don't have boundaries around what your culture is and what it is not, what you will find is that the personalities that occupy your workplace will shape and mold that culture, and they will have the deciding factor of what the vibe of the place will be. So if you have predatory people in your workplace, they are well skilled at testing to see whether their predatory behavior will be challenged or not with other people in the workplace. They are clear at understanding who is and who isn't a target. So that's just one example. Another example is if you have bullies. If you have bullies in your workplace that just like to talk shit to other people and make other people feel small. If you don't have a culture that openly states and practices that behavior is not welcome in your workplace, then that leaves the opportunity for those kinds of behaviors to be seeded and then flourish. And it just becomes a very threatening place to work. Also, another example is laziness. If it's not stated in the workplace culture that excellence is required, then complacency will have a space to breed. So setting the expectations of what you decide you need or choose or want from your workplace culture, and deciding that deciding that it's not going to be on your terms, means that other people will take control of the experience of the people that work in your company. However, if you decide that you will state those boundaries, state how you want people to feel, and state exactly what experiences you've chosen for your business and the culture within that business, what that means is you are saying to your staff, without having to say it, we care about you at work. We care about how you will experience your time in this workplace, which is a huge plus to anybody looking for a job, particularly now when there's a labor shortage. And having a clearly defined workplace culture and being able to answer the question when somebody asks you that's coming for a job, what's your workplace culture? Being able to answer that question says to somebody who's applying, these people care. And they are already aware of what kind of vibe they want. The next thing I want you to do is figure out how you're going to build that culture. Most places can decide once they've got a culture what they have the answer for the question, what's the workplace culture? But how are you going to build that culture? How are you going about building that culture? That's what's important. I hope you found this helpful. If you need any help with this, you can join our mastermind groups or get one-on-one coaching, consulting, however you term it, and we'll be happy to help. Peace, love, and peanut butter, friends. Have an amazing rest of your day.